Are there further remarks? The good member from the 19th District, Representative Walsh.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Civil protection orders and extreme risk protection orders, ERPOs, are a tricky business. We do want to offer effective protection for people who have been victimized by intense and sometimes maniacal abusers and harassers. And that is a legitimate interest of all of us and of the state as a governmental entity. On the other hand, and sort of the counterbalance, these orders are a slippery slope in some case toward the erosion of foundational and constitutional rights of individuals. It's a long debated point. You know, how do we balance the right of the individual who's been harassed and abused versus the right of an individual who may be being harassed and abused through a different means, and whose foundational rights to protect himself or herself, live her life or his life as they choose, could be compromised by one of these orders. There are due process issues in many cases with how these orders are issued. And but all of this, Madam Speaker, this is an old debate and we know it. What's new is that the courts have changed some of how they've gone about issuing these orders. And they've used the COVID outbreaks as the reasoning. And I've seen how the courts have been operating. We've seen around the state courts that have to operate in gymnasiums, fairgrounds in order to operate. So we understand that they've needed some assistance, some dispensation of the courts in doing their business for this past year that we've been in this strange place. But Madam Speaker, I caution you, and all of this, myself included, about allowing these extraordinary circumstances during this extraordinary time to codify and find a permanent place in our body of law. You know, already we have this slippery slope in these matters, Madam Speaker. Already we have the question of, can a person's foundational rights be compromised by the act of a court without due process? And when we offer to help the courts do things electronically, do things by other means, make things easier, do we make that risk of undermining those foundational rights greater? And we're going to get through this strange time, Madam Speaker, at some point, I hope some point soon. I think it would be a mistake to codify these temporary arrangements in the permanent body of law. And I have another point of concern about this bill, Madam Speaker. Well, it's good to periodically go through our RCWs, our law, and kind of rake them out, cut out the parts that don't work anymore, update the parts that need updating, reorganize them in a way that's more efficient. That's all good work. This bill does more than that, Madam Speaker. This bill does substantively change elements of how we handle these civil protection orders and extreme risk protection orders. And that is bothersome, Madam Speaker. As we've seen with some of the amendments we've accepted here today, there are elements of this bill that were practically unlikely, impossible for the courts to follow. So we've amended it to give them more time. Okay. But that speaks to me, Madam Speaker, as a matter of concern. If the changes we're making in this large law are so many that the courts who have asked for some of these changes can't handle them timely, then maybe this law does too much. For that reason, Madam Speaker, and for the reasons that we've heard in our debate, that this still needs to be worked some elsewhere. I think the right vote right now is no. So please vote no, Madam Speaker, and let's more efficiently and with greater efficacy protect those who've been harassed while also protecting those who are being accused. Please vote no. Thank you.